So we're at the Lido restaurant, which is on deck 9. This is a buffet restaurant, so it's help yourself. There's plenty of seating, but what you will find is that this is on sort of two halves. There's this side and the other side, so I'll show you that in a second. But on this side it's set up for breakfast at the moment. So you've got your cold meats, yogurts, cheeses, and then all your jams and butter and margarine. Lots of different bread, croissants and pastries. You've got toast, white and brown. You've got fresh fruit. Quite a selection of fruit, which is nice. Then you've got all your hot food for your good old English breakfast. Okay, so moving further round, you've got the drinks: orange juice, pineapple juice, apple juice. And then you come to the brewing up station. So here you can get fresh ice water, orange juices again. This is a selection of drinks, the teas. And then this is your coffee and hot water. This is the only brewing up station in this restaurant, which we found strange because some of the other Thomson ships there are more facilities and you can get quite long queues. So this is the back of the ship, outside where the pool deck is. And over here, these are two ice cream machines, chocolate and vanilla, and normally there will be sweets during lunch and dinner. There'll be sweets and puddings over this side. Okay, so this is the other side. Don't forget to come around here because this is where they have, like I said, all the sweets and puddings. But because we're on breakfast at the moment, you have pancakes over here, and maple syrup, and over here you've got a selection of cereals and dried fruit, and some more seating area. Now during lunch and dinner there's normally soup in this section here, but I might come back and show you how it's set up for lunch. So here we're in the Lido restaurant again. You can see that it's set for lunch now, so we've got a choice of soups. And we've got rice, pizzas, fish, barbecue ribs. There's always a salad bar available, so you can always get a salad with a choice of sauces. And then over on this side we've got bread and hot puddings. So today it's rice pudding with a berry sauce. And we'll take a look on the other side. Just before we do look at the other side, here are some of the selection of sweets. So the soup, the sweets, pizza, salad and hot puddings are on this side, and then the hot food is on the other side. So this is the other side of the buffet where all the hot food is, and we're set up for lunch at the moment. So we've got rice, beef, steak and gravy, lemon sole, grilled chicken, pork loin, steamed potatoes, and then we've got various salad items. Selection of bread, a few gluten-free there, and you've got your cheese and meats. It's fairly quiet at the moment because there's lots of people out on a trip, but the seating area can get busy. So that's the Lido restaurant. So we've just come outside from the restaurant. There's the restaurant inside. Come out through the doors, and we're now still on deck 9, but this is one of the pool decks outside. And here they serve food as well. They're just packing up at the moment, but pretty much the same food available out here as there is inside. So if you prefer to dine al fresco outside, if it's nice, you can come and eat out here. Right, this section here, behind this wall, there's normally a little guy hiding behind here. During breakfast, it's fried egg and omelettes. During the day, they do hamburgers, chips, hot dogs, that sort of thing. So if you want something freshly made for you, you can come round here and they'll make it to order. So we're outside now at the rear of the ship, right at the back on deck 9. That's the glass doors and windows you can see there is the Lido restaurant. And here is one of the pools on board the Thomson Dream. There are 2. So this little pool in front here, this is the kids pool. And then the larger pool at the side, this is the adult only pool. And then the second pool, that's a family pool. So I think this one is fairly deep. So there's plenty of sun lounges all around, and on the next level up on deck 10 there's some more sun lounges up there. That's actually a bit of a strange deck up there. There's only one way, well there's 2 ways up, but you have to come back down the same way. You can't actually pass through that area. So if you go up there, it's sort of like a dead end, really. We'll go up there next and take a look around. So there's the pool looking out across the back of the ship. And to access the next level up that we just saw, you have to go up these little spiral staircases that are just on the side before you go into the Lido restaurant, which is in there. So you can see some more staircases, but those are crew-only staircases. So like I said, you can only get up here by going up and down these spiral staircases. And there's actually no throughway into any of the other doors in any of the other bars. So there's a little bar over here in the corner. So if you fancy somewhere quite quiet, and there's music on at the moment, but this is quite a nice place to come out and sunbathe. And there's another spiral staircase on this side. So we're out on deck 9 at the moment. Sometimes there's sunbeds set out here, so it's a nice place to come and read in the shade, away from the sun and all the bustle around the pool. So the next thing we're going to do is go up the steps and have a look at the second pool. Okay, so we're now on deck 11, and this is the second pool. And as you can see, this is actually indoors. There's a sliding roof, a glass roof, that retracts back, so this can be either covered or uncovered depending on how warm it is outside. So this is quite a nice place to come, even if it's quite chilly, you can still come in the pool. There's plenty of sunbeds, obviously, if the roof was open. There's a little stage there at the front where they have some entertainment on from time to time. There's the Terrace grill over on the far side where they prepare food. And just over here we'll have a look at the hot tubs. So there's 2 hot tubs on board. So that's the deck 11 pool area. So we're out on the pool deck now with the roof open. So you can see the difference. It's a nice warm day. Everyone's out sunbathing. Just behind me is the food station and the hot water and drinks. There's pizza, burgers, chips and salad, hot dogs, ice cream around the corner. This is the mariachi band. They're quite good. They know a lot of songs, and if you request anything they'll be able to play it. We're up on deck 12 now, which is at the top of the ship, and you can see below the family pool on deck 11. And the mechanism for the roof that retracts back. Hot tubs at the far end. So this is the sports deck. There's a jogging track here. So for those of you that like to do a few laps in the morning. So further along here we'll have a look at the sports deck where the netting is. So this is the sports deck again, and you can see just through here this is a separate section almost, with facilities for five-a-side football, tennis, basketball, perhaps a few other sports. The equipment is available from reception. I don't know whether there's a charge, but there does seem to be restricted opening hours for this area. They do hold some activities up here as part of the entertainment programme during the day. Okay, so this is the fitness centre or the gym, which is on deck 10. So I'll take a look. For all of those that like to keep fit while you're on your holiday and eat off some of this, work off some of this food, should I say. So it's quite well equipped. Plenty of equipment in here. And there are saunas on board, so let's take a look in there. Here's the sauna. Let's take a look inside. It's pretty hot in there. Okay, so that's the gym. So we're now on deck 11, and this is the Sirens restaurant, and at the moment this is set up for afternoon tea, so you can get a selection of canapes, small sandwiches, biscuits, freshly made, little sweet treats. They do gluten-free food as well, which is quite good. Obviously there's a smaller selection of that. They also do sugar-free desserts. I've noticed in the main dining room there's always a sugar-free option on the menu. So here's the gluten-free section. So just behind me, if I turn around, is the tea and coffee station.
You alright? Yes.
There's not as much seating in this restaurant as the Lido restaurant. It's not quite as big, but it tends to be less busy. So just in the corner here of the Sirens restaurant is the grill area. This is the a la carte restaurant on board, where you have to make a reservation. And there's an extra charge involved in dining there. I think it's about $9.95, but I can't remember exactly. So this is the Sirens restaurant. It's just on the other side of the hot tubs and the pool area. This is the Orion restaurant on deck 4. There are 2 entrances. There's one here, and then if you go down the side, there's almost 2 halves to the restaurant. So here's the other half. And there's the second entrance on the other side, but you can also get in the other side of this wall. So basically, to access the restaurant, you need to go down stairways A or B, which are the front 2 stairways. You can't get to the restaurant from the second 2 stairways at the back of the ship. So the Orion restaurant can be accessed from stairway B and stairway A, and it's in 2 halves. It's down on deck 4. So if you go down this stairway or this stairway, C and D, which are at the back of the ship, you won't be able to get to level 4, to deck 4. So you need to use the 2 front stairways at the front of the ship. So here's our cabin. It's a deck 6-7 inside cabin. It's in a double bed arrangement. You can get them with 2 singles alongside the walls and the drawers in the middle, but this one is set out in double bed. So we'll have a look at the paperwork on the bed in just a second, but I'll show you around the cabin first. So this is an inside cabin, so there's the illusion of a window behind the bed, but actually there isn't. So if we turn around and have a look down here, there is water and snacks and a small bottle of wine that you can purchase anytime, and that's topped up by your cabin steward. On this side, you've got coffee and tea making facilities. This is the first Thomson ship we've actually had that on, which is quite good. The only problem being is you've got quite a limited selection to choose from here. You've got a couple of tea bags. And you've got cream. You don't have any milk, so if you're a tea drinker then that tastes really rank. But down here you have got a little fridge, so what we tended to do was just get a little cup of milk from the Lido restaurant and bring it down and put it in the fridge. So you've got some little miniatures there at the top, and some cold drinks and beers at the bottom, and if you use any of those you obviously sign for them, pay for that, and it's replenished on a daily basis, so that's quite handy. Just on the dressing table here there are 2 sockets. Now these are the only 2 sockets in the cabin, and I must say we actually did struggle with only having these 2 sockets because we had various electrical appliances to charge up each day, and it's a bit of a struggle when you've only got, you know, limited amount of sockets. So, but anyway, the first one, this is an American socket with the spade bit plug type, and that's only 110 volt, so it's not that higher output, so it's not ideal for using appliances from the UK. But this one round the side is a European socket, and it's got the 2 round pin socket type. So if you bring some adapters, that socket is the best one to use for any hairdryers, straighteners or anything of that nature. My straighteners work fine with that, so there's no problem, but don't use this one for your straighteners because it won't do them any good. Up here there's a flat screen TV which pivots, so you can find a comfortable position for watching that. I've put it on the channel which actually shows the camera, which is outside on the bridge, and it shows you the front of the ship, and at the moment it's pretty dark outside because it's very early in the morning and we're vacating our cabin, but normally with an inside cabin it's good to put that on to see what the weather's like, and then you can decide what you're going to wear for the day. Otherwise there's no way of knowing what's going on outside with not having an outside window. Okay, let's have a look at the wardrobe. So for a 2-person cabin we found that there was plenty of space inside the wardrobe. You've got plenty of hangers, and they are the type that have to clip into these little bracket things, but there are some spare hangers around the corner which I'll show you in a second. Down here you've got your 2 pool towels, so if you're going out on deck and you're going in the pool, or even if you're going out to the beach, those are the towels that you take with you. Just at the side here you've got a safety deposit box. The charges for this are £15 for 1 week or £25 for 2 weeks, and I think you get the details, or you pay for those at reception. We didn't use ours, but they are quite handy if you want to use that. This is a laundry list. You can get washing and ironing done on board. There isn't an onboard guest laundry, so if you unpack all your clothes and they end up being creased, you will have to put them through this service and they will iron them for you. I think they had a special offer on formal night where they would iron shirts and stuff like that. I think it was about £7. So that's pretty much the wardrobe. You've got your life vests up there, which you'll need on the first day for your passenger drill, which is always a pleasure. Nice big long mirror there. So just down the side of the wardrobe here there are some extra hangers which guests have left behind, which did prove to be quite handy. And this little hanger here is great because I had quite a long evening dress, and you've got plenty of space there to let it hang all the way down to the floor, because with the shelves in the bottom of the wardrobe there wasn't enough room for it to hang in there. There's a small 3-drawer set down there. Those are the only drawers apart from the 2 little bedside tables that we have in our room, so it is lacking drawer space a little bit, but so you do have to kind of maximise every little nook and cranny in the wardrobe. Okay, let's have a look in the bathroom. So it's quite compact, but there's still plenty of space. So we've got the sink there, and the toilet. All the toilets are a vacuum type toilet, so they kind of suck the water out, so you need to be careful about what you place in the toilets. Only tissue paper and nothing else, because they block up really easy. And I know in some of the lounges a couple of the toilets during this week have blocked up and it's been a bit of a nightmare. Okay, so the shower, pretty straightforward. It's a really good shower. There's plenty of water pressure. The temperature is really hot, so be careful before you get in there. Make sure that you adjust the temperature so you don't scald yourself. But there's a little bath mat down here hanging under the sink, so that's really good, and it makes the floor not slippy at all, so really impressed with the shower. That's great. You've got plenty of towels here. You've got 2 face cloths, 2 hand towels. You've got the bath mat for when you're stepping out of the shower to put on the floor. And you've also got 2 nice big bath-sized towels to dry yourself off with. Here's the hairdryer. Absolutely fantastic. You don't need to bring your own hairdryer, ladies, because this one is perfectly adequate. It's got a low and high setting, and I've got really long hair and found it to be absolutely perfect, so I didn't bother bringing mine this time. Up here you've got a shaver socket. So that's really good for the gents to just plug their shavers straight in there. And that's about it really. That's all I can tell you about the bathroom. Hello. You do get provided a couple of shampoos, as you can see there, and a shower cap. And I think there is a little dispenser, if I remember rightly, in the shower which has soap in it. Or I suppose you could use that for shampoo if you wanted. Okay, let's go back out and have a look at the paperwork.
All guests travelling on flight number TOM 7435 to Birmingham. Again, that's TOM.
So they're just making the announcements because we're about to disembark the ship. Okay, on the bed here we've got everything that you receive during your holiday. The first 2 things, which are most important, are these 2 cards here. And these are your sort of onboard cards. These, every time you go on and off the ship, they scan this barcode on the back so that they can keep a log of who's on and who's off. You also use these cards to pay for any drinks, excursions, any purchases in the gift shop. If you lose these cards, by the way, it will cost you £1 to replace them. And if you've got a drinks in package or an all-inclusive package, it would have something different other than an A in this corner. The next 2 things are your door cards, so these get you in and out of your cabin. So you can see that these are quite a thing, and you kind of slide it into a slot and it opens the door. The next thing that you'll find when you arrive at your cabin is the Shore Excursions Guide. So this provides details of all the trips out during your cruise. It gives you the details of how much they are, how long they last, what time they depart. It also gives you a guide here of how suitable they are for people with limited mobility, so how active they are, how much walking there is, whether there's shopping, all that kind of stuff. So that all that information is provided in there, and you can look through that when you first arrive and book those at the destination services desk. They also do bike tours for those of you that prefer doing stuff on 2 wheels. So there's a whole range of stuff for every day. There's an alternative bike tour if you prefer that. Here's the map of the ship, which is quite handy. When you first arrive, it's a bit disorientating, so keep your map with you and it'll show you where everything is and what deck everything is, and where your cabins are. So I'm going to go through the cabins, other cabins in a while. Okay, so that's the map. That's in your room when you arrive. The next thing that you'll get are the cruise news. So these are the little newsletters that are pushed under your door each evening for the following day. They'll tell you what port of call's coming up the next day. They'll also tell you what time you'll arrive, what time the ship leaves. They'll give details on the times that the restaurants are open and the gift shops. They'll give you details of what's on the TVs, so they show a couple of films each day here. They give you details of all the daytime activities, what's going on around the ship during the day. And this section here at the bottom is actually the evening entertainment, so it'll show you what the show is that night, what the game shows and the other entertainment going on in the Medusa Lounge, what the disco theme is. They're a different theme every night. What other games are going on, and where also the live music. There's various different resident bands on board and where you can find those. There's usually a cocktail of the day as well, or a coffee of the day, and you can see those down here. And it also tells you what the dress is for that day. It'll tell you whether it's sort of casual or smart casual or formal. Okay, so those arrive every day. It's a good idea to take these ashore with you, because the important information here at the top, it tells you who the agent is for that port of call. So if you have any problems at all when you're aboard, when you're off the ship, these are the numbers to phone. It also gives you the ship's satellite number in case of emergency. Okay, and the final thing over here are the maps. So each day when you're arriving at a different port, you can get one of these maps either from reception or the destination services counter in the reception area. You just pick these up, and it's quite a handy map. It tells you on the back, you know, how to get around, what the buses are, taxis, what the currency is, etc., etc., where the nearest bank is, all that kind of stuff. So there's some quite useful information on those, and they're quite handy to pick up. And then finally, this bit of paper here. This is your onboard account, so when you swipe all your cards to buy drinks and everything, you'll get an itemised account of everything that you've purchased, and it'll tell you at the end of the holiday. I think you get one in the middle as well, just to show you whereabouts you're spending up to. But this is our final statement, and this is how much that we've spent during this week. So that's pretty much it. That's the cabin and everything I can tell you about it. And I'll go and have a look at some of the other cabins now, just so that we can compare. Well, that's the end of our video. We hope you found it interesting and some good information. And all that remains is to say, if you're lucky enough to be cruising on the Thomson Dream anytime soon, we wish you a pleasant cruise.